Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching the Reviews Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed. And today we're talking about the latest book from X-53 Studios. We already got Arachna, and we already got Ghost Shocker Falconet, so now we've got the latest story, The Vindicators. And so you can tell by the title, these are going to get pretty spicy. Now I do want to say, first and foremost, this book is pretty new. I just got it this past Friday, and many people out there probably didn't get their copy in the mail just yet, or probably not even the notification that says that your book has shipped. So yeah, keep in mind there will be some spoilers. I'm not going to do like the whole play-by-play, but of course spoilers are inevitable. So if you guys are like me, they like to go in blind when you get the books in the mail, I would say don't watch the video until after you've gotten the book and things like that. And another thing is that this book, so far, is the spiciest book of all the X-53 Studios books so far. So I'm going to be using some, shall we say, creative and subtle language here and there. I'll make sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but there are certain words and phrases that I don't want to cover on this channel, and also because YouTube and that kind of stuff, you know. But it is kind of inevitable. It is part of the plot. So, you know, like I said before, also with the spoilers, that if you guys like don't want to get spoiled at all, stop the video here and come back after you read the book. So here we go. So the book is about this cowboy named Flint Decker. He's got a cybernetic eye and a cybernetic arm and legs, both legs in this case, and also the vampire Alice Brown that has all the powers and weaknesses that vampires would normally have. So the story starts off right off the bat with action. Like right off the bat, we've got Decker on horseback pulling a stagecoach, and he's already shooting at guys, and guys are shooting at him. He's got like bandits after him and stuff like that. And eventually one of the bandits does get a gun to his head, so he has to give up. So when they check out the stagecoach, they find this coffin in there, and of course you got Alice in there in their sleeping state, because you know vampires are, of course, they sleep during the day, and they are active at night. So these guys think he's some kind of undertaker and stuff, and considering the fact that they think that she's like a dead woman, they're still like, you know, checking around, being weird about it, because, you know, whatever. And one of them, for whatever the hell reason, you know, never mind it's a vampire, whatever, but for whatever the hell reason, he's like putting his fingers in her mouth and checking her teeth, and I'm like, okay, and whatever. But yeah, this guy is dumb enough to put his finger near her mouth. So this is when Alice wakes up and bites his finger off, and then he starts feasting on the bandit, so to speak, and there we go. That's like the first big scene there. So, sometime later, we got Decker and Alice going into town. There's this small western town named, it's called Stale Gorge, I think. Let me just double check here. But basically, it's like a small ghost town with a humble little saloon and everything. And let me just double check so I can get everything correct, because the book's right here. There's no reason for me to, you know, get it wrong. But yeah, it is Stale Gorge. So they go to Stale Gorge, there's a Blaze Saloon, and they check it out. And there's a woman there that I guess she's kind of like the hostess, and she has her, shall we say, professional ladies at the place. And Decker is quite fond of professional ladies, so while he goes to indulge himself with them, shall we say, Alice goes to check out the owner of the overall establishment because he came to see him and see what's going on. So the owner is this little short dude named Daniel DeGraw, and he's also like, I guess he's kind of a known inventor and stuff like that. So Alice offers that you could work together. They're interested in his inventions and stuff. And he has like this real big, tall, jacked, like golden dude that almost looks like an Image Comics type character, you know. And he picks up the guy, and the guy does the whole gentleman, you know, kissing her hand kind of thing. But the thing is, when he does that, he does realize that Alice has, you know, like she's cold to the touch, and also like there's no like pulse or heartbeat or whatever. So he knows that she's a vampire, and he sends a golem to attack her and everything. And even though of course Alice is stronger than the typical person, she's a vampire and all that stuff, the golem still whoops her ass. The guy, DeGraw, activates some kind of like artificial sunlight throughout the room. She's taken out, and all the while, Decker has no idea that his partner's in danger. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave it there, and you'll figure out the rest of the story once you get the book and everything. So it is kind of a suspenseful thing. So first and foremost, I do want to say that this story is very, very different from the other stories so far. It's not what I would really call a superhero story. Both Arachna and Ghost Shack kind of go into the superhero motif with the costumes and superpowers, all that kind of stuff. This is more of a Western, I want to call it like a steampunk Western, because it's kind of like that weird kind of world where more modern things that we don't have in our world, like you know, full on, fully functional and realistic artificial limbs. They got extra weapons and attachments and stuff like that. And you got other inventions here and there in the story that I don't want to spoil. But at the same time, of course, it still takes place back in like 1865 or so. So, of course, you don't have like modern day phones or modern day TV and stuff like that. They're watching movies. They're still called motion pictures because I guess maybe the term movie came out later on or something, but they're calling it motion picture, and it's kind of sort of implied that this is like new technology for them at the time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that weird mixture where they do have, where they're missing things that we have nowadays, but they also have like these other scientific achievements that we still don't have in modern day. And of course there's like monsters and demons and golems and stuff like that running around, so it is pretty interesting. So yeah, so these guys aren't really like superheroes or nothing, no costumes. I guess just interesting things, you know. Decker's a badass fist fighter, and of course he has the advantage of the extra metal limbs and weapons and stuff. And again, Alice has her vampire powers and things like that, so that makes it interesting. And it's gonna be like monsters and things throughout the series, so it's gonna be kind of cool. But yeah, that is the big thing though. It is like a Western type story, more about like adventures and like I guess solving mysteries and things like that, rather than people flying out in costumes and purposely fighting crime and things like that. So it is very different. And another thing I do want to say is that since the story does take place in the Wild West and not modern day, I really don't know if there's ever going to be like a crossover with the other characters. Like with Ghost Shock, you do see that there's a scene where he's reading the newspaper and Arachna's in the news, so you know that they take place in the same universe. But here, unless there's some kind of, I don't know, time travel or multi-universe, whatever type thing, I don't really see how these characters are going to ever bump into Arachna and Ghost Shock and Falconet, you know what I mean? But I like the story. Lots of good action, lots of fighting, you know, it's like, you know, gunfighting, fist fighting, stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. I just like the overall vibe and everything. I do want to say that, like I said before, the book is very spicy. There's a lot of, shall we say, adult interactions in the book. And actually some of the professional ladies actually do factor in a lot in the story. And part of the, like, the overall plot is like something going on. And that, yeah, like again, I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm just saying that it's not just like a random, you know, one panel cameo where Decker's like, hey, I'm going to check out the ladies, and then that's all you see. No, like it does factor in a lot into the plot and everything. And of course, in true fashion, when it comes to Alice's outfit is like barely there of an outfit. And her backside is just completely exposed in her outfit. And the thing is, with all the fighting and stuff and the backflips and whatever else, you're going to see a lot of her backside in full detail, like real up there. And, you know, for people that are, shall I say, the more cultured gentlemen of the comic book community, you know, I'm sure you guys will enjoy that. But to be honest, with the way Arachna is and Ghost Shock and stuff, it's like, what can I say? Like you shouldn't be that surprised. You know, the whole moniker with X53 Studios is the whole bringing sexy back to comics, and oh boy, they really bring the sexy back, especially in this book here. And the one thing I do want to say at the end is I do like the overall dynamic with the characters, with Decker and Alice, because it's just interesting. You know, they're almost like, I don't know, I guess they're partners, so to speak. They're kind of like, I guess, kind of like business partners or something like that. It's kind of like if you have to go to a business trip with one of your coworkers, but it's like that one coworker you don't really talk to too much. Like, you know them, sorta, but you don't talk to him or her that much. And now you guys gotta get together for like this business trip for a week or so. Obviously, you gotta act, you know, cordial to each other. And it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't hate each other, but you're not exactly like buddy-buddy. So in a similar way, I don't see Alice and Decker being like the best and most closest friends or whatever. But at the same time, it's not exactly like what I would call an uneasy alliance. And a lot of it goes a mixture between Decker himself having a past as a soldier, and he has like serious trust issues and all that kind of stuff. Like, I know a big part of it is because Alice is a vampire, and it is pretty much implied that Alice, of course, if there's ever a moment that she has like intense hunger, and Decker happens to be the only human around, you know, she might start looking at him some sort of way. But aside from that, it does look like Flint, Decker, does have trust issues, like in general, even if his partner was not a vampire. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic between the two. And it kind of looks like they've been together for, I don't know, like a short time, sort of, because during the banter, they're still trying to kind of find out more about each other. There's little comments here and there. Oh, I didn't know vampires did that, and stuff like that. So it is interesting. I'm very curious how they get, you know, I guess closer or know each other, or possibly learn to trust each other more as the series goes on and stuff like that. Of course, there's a big cliffhanger. There's more stuff to come. And as for the villain, Daniel DeGraw, he is also very interesting because his motives, it's just interesting motives and stuff. It's like typical bad guy stuff, but he does raise a couple of things here and there that kind of furthers the plot going along. So, like, he might be a bit misguided in what his motives are, but he's not completely wrong. And those kind of things that he brings up does affect the story going on, and it looks like it's going to affect the story going on forward. So, you know, more things might happen here and there. But like I said, the biggest thing is it's just the overall dynamic between the main characters, a cool setting, all these monsters and things, the western feel, good action and stuff like that. It's a very good book. I really did enjoy it. And to be honest, so far I've enjoyed all the books of the X-53 Studios so far. I had a bit of doubts because right off the bat I did know, like, you know, from the advertising and stuff, I did know that it was a western and that it wasn't like superhero type stuff. And I'm not like, I mean, I don't know, I don't really see myself like purposely buying a western, but I kind of put my faith in X-53 Studios because, again, they haven't steered me wrong. It is a pretty good story so far, so I was like, you know, yeah, I'll check it out, you know. So in other words, if it wasn't for X-53 Studios and their previous stories, I probably would not have gotten it. But as it was them, I kind of, and I like the character designs and stuff, I kind of just took a bet with that, and I love it. Pretty good story. And the cool thing is, it's not over yet. We still got Arachna #3 in the works. We also got Goshak and Falconet #2 in the works. The way this one ends, obviously there's going to be a Vindicators #2, but, you know, it's still too soon for that. But we also got this other one, this all-out superhero team called the Omada. And from the cover here, it looks like there's like about 9 or so characters. So I'm assuming it's like an all-out team. And they're all like diverse characters, so you can't really say they're family. I think it's like a big superhero team or something like that. So I'm very curious, like, how this is going to factor. Oh, sorry, wrong side here. And I'm also kind of curious how it's going to factor, and also if it's in the same universe as the other characters, if we may see Arachna and Goshak and Falconet meet the Omada later on down the line or something like that. But, yeah, very interesting. So far it's been a good series, and I advise you guys to check it out. I think the campaign is over, but, you know, now they do have an official F53 Studios website, so you can go there and still order the book after the campaign ended. And the cool thing is, of course, you can also find the other things, the Arachna books and the Falconet books, you know, Goshak, and like other prints and posters and whatnot. So it is pretty cool. And with this book, I did get these real cool things here of these cool cards of Flint Decker and Alice Brown. And yeah, you know, most of the comic books come with cards nowadays and stuff like that. And I also got this real cool print of Flint Decker, so that's pretty cool too. So anyways, guys, it kind of wraps it up here. This has been a review Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed. Of course, I'll be reviewing other like movies or shows, and of course other comic books I might be getting from X53 Studios. But that's it for now. This is Mark Rodriguez here, and catch you later.